All right, so we got Damocles. Ooh, I know I said that wrong. Crusade, First Imperium, and Tau War. Warhammer 40K. Other than that, let's get right into it. Make sure you guys follow my Twitch down below if you guys wouldn't mind. And let's get into it. Let's go, man. I know I said that name all
Hi,
wrong.
friends. You know that one guy who seems like a total nerd, so you gotta beat him up, but he's actually ripped and he kind of kicks your ass? Yeah, of course not. I know that we're all nerds here and we aren't beating anyone.
Not me. I'm friends with Vulcan. I ain't no nerd. Hey, yeah. Me and Vulcan, we not no nerds at all. No, I don't even know why he even pointed at. I don't know, no, because you know that one saying, hey, you might, when you point at somebody, one of your fingers, you know, it's pointing at the thing that you point at, but three of them point right back at you. I'm not, not me. I ain't, Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care what y'all say. Listen, me and my people, me and you know, and my regulars, and me and the boys, you know, me and the subs, we're not nerds at all. We ain't nerds. Me and the subscribers, we're not nerds at all. Yo, seriously, we're not. Yo, this one right here, this don't end. Not us.
But hypothetically, just imagine that. Well, that would basically be the Damocles Crusade. The Damocles Crusade was the first major battle the Imperium had with the Tau, and vice versa. The Tau and the Imperials had clashed in the past, both when the Mechanicus first discovered their planet, and a few times when Tau explorer fleets went into Imperial airspace and were almost immediately blasted. But the Damocles Crusade was on a much larger scale than these previous encounters, and was the first proper battle.
Okay.
Before the battle had even begun, the filthy Tau were already trading with Imperials in the fringe worlds by the Damocles Gulf, and, gulp, being nice to them. For years, the Tau integrated themselves with the human colonies and converted the Imperiums to the greater good. Which, trading with Xenos, being nice to Xenos, and fighting for good instead of the Emperor was of course problematic to staunchly xenophobic Imperium.
Okay.
Oh, so you like trading so much, Blue Man? How about we trade hands then?
Ooh, let's buck.
So, noticing the lack of ties and hearing word of the potential trading traders, the Inquisitive Inquisition sent an inquiring Inquisitor to inquisitate the traitorous traders, where he found that they were indeed traitors who were traitors. As it was decided that the Tau were indeed a threat, Cardinal Gurney declared a purge on them and sent a fleet alongside his world's Brimlock Dragoons. In addition, some Space Marine companies joined in, noticeably the Ultramarines, White Scars, and Iron Hands. The Crusade prioritized establishing Imperial control on the heretical planets and purging the filthy Xenos who made those heretics heretical.
Clap them up.
The Crusade kicked off with the Imperial forces recapturing the colonies of Garrus and Kleist. Then they moved into Tau territory to attack the Hydra system. A battle erupted in the space above the Tau planet of Silic, and this was the first major engagement with the Tau.
Who y'all going for?
The Imperials were initially surprised by the Tau's advanced weaponry, which is a phrase I'll be saying a lot in this video. However, the Imperial ships were still much more powerful than the Tau counterparts.
Okay.
The battle was won by the Imperials once the Marine reinforcements arrived. They learned that the Tau flunked.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, they needed. All right, okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's cheating. All right, but those boys definitely needed help, though. Okay.
Pirate ship making school because their ships lacked broadside guns, and the White Scar strike cruisers flanked and quickly destroyed the Tau ships, ending the space battle. With the orbital defenses crippled, the Imperials made landfall. Planetside, the Sice of the Emperor and the Brimlock Dragoons fought the Tau. On the ground, the Tau fared better as the Imperials were initially surprised by the Tau's advanced weaponry. However, despite the Tau's firepower and early advantage, they were surprised by the sheer brutality and awesome might of the Space Marines, which is another sentiment that will be repeated throughout the war. The Tau were even warned by a Guvesa how dangerous Space Marines are and how powerful the Imperium was. But the Tau couldn't fathom her claims to be true since they were just so insane. Which, that might sound dumb, but to be honest, if someone told you that an alien army had an empire like 10,000 times bigger than yours, fields 8-foot indestructible supermen, has walking churches with...
Yeah, I'd be spooked. I can't lie to you. I'd be spooked. I'd be spooked like I seen a ghost. I'd be spooked, bro. Hey, I'll keep it real. You know, there's some times where I act tough and, you know, I talk a lot of, you know, mob talk, you know, since I got Vulcan behind me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be spooked, bro. Especially if I'm sitting here, you know, watching like the All-Star game or whatever. And I just look up and there's like a bunch of alien ships and whatever. And I see like, you know, these type of things drop down. I see like these, you know, things built like this drop down. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be spooked.
Stun guns, all backed by a near infinite army of soldiers willing to do damn near anything to serve their god emperor. well, you'd think that person was a fucking liar. Also, that Guvesa lady's a bit of a funny fella, but we'll get more on her later. But anyways, due to the Tau underestimating the Marines, they got annihilated in this first battle. But they would eventually adapt and get better.
Okay.
Also, fun fact,
Hey, that's what it's all about. Listen, man, listen, you get your ass whooped. Hey, you get your ass whooped one time. Hey, it is what it is. You know, bro, it happens. You know, the best thing you can do is adapt to, you know, what happened, you know, analyze the situation, you know, bro, watch the footage back and be like, okay, all right, so here's what I done goofed. Okay, boom, turn around and then fix it up.
factor that led the Tau to getting obliterated on Silic was that the Tau were initially using infantry doctrines against the Space Marines. But those were completely ineffective since Space Marines are just such nutty infantry units. So, in future battles, they switched over to using anti-tank doctrines against the Marines. Back to the battle, after reclaiming Silic, the Imperials casually exterminated a few Tau worlds of no strategic values across the Damocles Gulf in order to make some more fields blue.
Okay.
Again, the Tau were surprised by the Imperium's sheer brutality and callousness at eradicating all life on a world just to further their goals. Then, after crossing the Damocles Gulf, the Imperials launched an assault on Dal'yth, home of the Dal'yth Sept. Being confident from their crushing victory in Hydras, the Imperials rushed their offense, but they were met with much greater opposition this time around. The Tau had a much larger fleet, had orbital stations for their capital world,
the
and
boys.
were reinforced by Kroot war spheres,
Uh-oh.
which are kind of like mini Kroot craft worlds. Also, another fun fact, the war spheres were made after the Kroot ate some orc mech boys, so
So wait, they spun the block. They spun the block with more people.
war spheres are technically orc tech. Once again, the Imperials were surprised by the Tau's advanced defenses, and they took heavy losses in this space battle. But they eventually came out on top. At this point, the Imperials were starting to think that maybe the Taus weren't just some pathetic loser guys. They were
How did they
actually
still
pathetic
lose?
loser guys with surprisingly strong guns who maybe might just beat us up and maybe we should stop now. Responding to the heavy defenses, the Imperials took a step back to employ a more methodical approach to destroy the orbital defenses before initiating a ground assault. And so, once the orbital defenses were destroyed, the Imperium pushed the Force Serious button and dropped Titans, tanks, Marines, and Guardsmen to take over the world. And this was about when the Tau realized that the Titans of quote-unquote propaganda were about to give them a proper gander at the business end of a Sun Fury Annihilator
They
cannon.
brought the
The Imperials
boys.
took an early advantage.
Yo, if they lose this one, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm crashing out. If they actually lose this one, I'm crashing out completely.
Crushing the Tau with their initial assault. However, the Tau pulled a Vietnam and retreated to the forest of the world to stage a guerrilla defense. In addition, the Tau were able to adapt to the new Titan threat by modifying their Manta gunships to engage the God Machines, and using the ever-reliable tactic of shooting a crap load of missiles at whatever thing you want gone. To make matters worse for the Imperials, their forces were being splintered as a young Shadowsun was luring them away from each other. Thanks to Shadowsun, the Imperial forces began to be spread too thin, and the Tau were able to regain their footing and inflict heavy casualties. As the war escalated, Guardsmen had to guerrilla off in the forest against Pathfinders and Kroot, Titans were being taken out by mass airstrikes, and Marines were facing Tau crisis teams led by Commander Farsight. And Commander Farsight was actually Commander Foresight in this instance, since he anticipated facing heavily armored troops and he equipped his men with plasma rifles. The hail of plasma fire and rapid movement of the crisis suits proved more than a match for the mighty Space Marines. Farsight also innovated the Sunforged pattern crisis suit and tactics. These tactics involved crisis teams dropping from mana gunships and destroying everything they could with dual fusion cannons before being flown away to rearm and wreak havoc elsewhere. In addition to Farsight's efforts, Shadowsun was also very successful in leading Tau stealth units to whittle down Imperial forces in night raids and guerrilla strikes. Also, I think it's kind of funny that in this conflict, Farsight canonically thinks Shadowsun is a hottie. So, do with that what you will. Anyways, despite the Tau making big strides and inflicting huge casualties on the Imperials have unfathomably huge numbers and an even more unfathomably huge drive to crush their opponents. So, in addition to Farsight and Shadowsun's campaigns, the Tau employed an experimental program in which they implanted engrams of the legendary Tau commander Puretide into the minds of Fireblades and Crisis commanders. This gave them instant access to the strategies of Puretide and allowed them to coordinate extraordinarily well. These commanders were known as the Swords of Puretide. along with
Wait, wait, they put like the entire game. Wait, is my mic on? Give me 1 second. Hold up, y'all, because I make this. All right, it's on. So basically, they put the entire game plan inside like these robot things, and so now these robot things are about to just go crazy since they all know the plan. They're basically just like, they're like 5 like Stephen Currys. They're all on the same page. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's nasty work.
the bloody battles,
Hold up.
both sides were scrambling to learn the weaknesses of their enemies. The Tau learned that many Marines adhere strictly to the Codex Astartes, and they began to predict their tactics. They also began to leverage the Imperium's extremely proud and reckless battle style, goading them into disadvantageous engagements and kiting their forces around. Then, on the other hand, the Imperials learned that the Tau suck in melee, didn't really have anything to counter Psykers, and weren't as willing to lose their troops. Thus, they started...
Hold up, yo. I learned this from the if the Emperor had a text-to-speech thing, yo. The Tau, bro, they can't fight to save their life, yo. There's no Floyd Mayweather. There's no, bro. They legit cannot fight, bro. They cannot box. They cannot UFC. They can't do nothing, bro. Bro, when I learned that from the if the Emperor had a text-to-speech, whatever, bro. When bro said, yo, they can't even fight, I was like, what? The Tau, they can't fight, and the Emperor, bro. The Emperor had. Bro, he had a temper tantrum, bro. The Emperor was about to just destroy everything. He was like, wait a minute. So you telling me this Legion can't even throw the Dukes up? And they're just sniping all the time? That's all they're doing. And then one of you guys actually in the comments, one of you guys basically said they basically just shoot, retreat, shoot, and then retreat again. That's all they do. These guys are just straight shooters.
Employing more bayonet charges, sending more assault wizards, and engaging in glorious sword fights. It was also the Psykers who proved a powerful counter to the Swords of Puretide, since the swords were completely clueless facing Psykers, as Puretide never encountered them before. Also, contrary to popular belief, both sides were actually strategizing and fighting extremely well. Some seem to think that the Imperium was completely tactically inept the whole time, or that the Tau was woefully outmatched, but both sides fought well and had the other on the back foot for most of the war. A crucial moment in this war was when the Imperials begun a siege on the fortress dome city of Ratas, and it was here that the Tau exacted a powerful blow against the Imperials. The Tau set off a massive EMP device, disabling most of theirs and the Imperials' weapons and vehicles. Then they let loose crew carnivore squads whose primitive weaponry was mostly unaffected by the EMP device. This gambit paid off.
Yo, imagine you get attacked. Listen, I'm not Brad Pitt, but yo, imagine you get attacked by one of these things right here, bro. Oh my god, bro, their hairline has been knocked back into the 15th century, bro. Oh my god, bro, you get attacked by one of these, bro, with one of these as the weapons. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'll be highly embarrassed. I'll be really embarrassed.
Many Imperials were brutally slaughtered by the Crude, and many vehicles, including Titans, were put out of commission. This massacre allowed them to get some reinforcements and continue their defense. After some more battling, the Imperial advance was eventually slowed to a crawl, and they were losing troops for unacceptably low gains. This was especially problematic since Tau reinforcements were arriving, and the Imperial fleet was crippled by the past space battle, and it wasn't properly equipped to defend against the space battle 2 Electric Boogaloo. Since things were looking bad for the Imperials, some of the commanders thought that they should just quit before taking more losses. However, as we all know, 99% of gamblers quit right before a big score. So, the Imperials kept at it. So then, both sides continued to take heavy losses while inflicting heavy losses to the other. Eventually, the Tau established supply lines and seemed to have gotten a decisive upper hand on the Imperials. Even worse for the Imperials on world, after securing a starport, the Brimlock Dragoons and Titans were evacuated to defend against a potential Tyranid threat. The Space Marines present on the world opposed the retreat since the party wasn't over. And by party, I mean becoming party. You know, since they were getting blown apart by mecha suits. But
it's time to watch the party die. Didn't Kendrick say that? Oh my goodness.
With a chunk of the Imperial forces leaving, the Tau decided to use their water cast to try and negotiate with the Imperials. Usually negotiating with the Imperium doesn't really go anywhere, but thanks to the Guvesa lady mentioned earlier, the Tau's honorable conduct in the war, and the approaching High Fleet behemoth, Captain Savaliak of the Hammers of Dorn accepted the truce, and the Imperials left Tau space. But speaking of that Guvesa lady earlier, let's talk about her a bit. Her name is Belle, and she was the daughter of a rogue trader. She defected to the Tau not because of some nerdy ideological reasons, but because her dad wouldn't give her inheritance since she was half Chagorian. So she decided to leave the Imperium to ally with the Tau since she thought she could make more money with them.
You went to wait, hold on. I gotta make sure my mic is on again. You went to the opposition because you didn't get your dad's inheritance. Wait. You went to the opposition just because your dad didn't give you his money that he earned for him. Now I understand. A lot of parents, they would, pass down their money or whatever and give it to like their kids, bro. And then there's some parents where they're like, you know what? Like I'm gonna help you out with money, but I'm not gonna give you everything. I'm gonna help you out with something, but at the same time, I still want you to make your own money and stuff. But if you need help, I got you. And then there's some parents where they're like, yo, you know what? Yeah, my kids are not getting none of my money, whatever. Go make your own money, whatever, right? Now, obviously, like whenever I have kids, whatever, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be there, to help my kids. I can't trip. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, go make your own money. I just feel like, if you got the money, especially if you got like a lot of money, whatever, like you got life-changing money, whatever that you got, and like, you got kids or whatever, you kind of want to put them in like the best position so they can, grow up, and make amazing choices and, and if you can, use some of that money to, help push your kids, right? That's what I would do, but maybe that's just me. But yo, she traded places. She went to the opposition and said, yo, they pay more. Their pockets are deeper than the ocean.
Unfortunately for her, though, the Tau don't really care about money or business.
Oh, well, their pockets are flat as Indiana. Man, their pockets are on a diet. Pockets are on a keto diet. Their pockets are, bro, dusty, musty, rusty. Never mind. I done gassed up the Tau's pockets so crazy. Tau, hold on, what did it say? Tau know what money is. They just don't desire to build individual wealth. That was just for so Tau. Okay, so they most likely have money, but they don't really chase money like that. Okay, that makes sense. Wowzers! Look at her. She thought she would just. She traded on her whole family. She traded on her dad just for some money, just for some bills. See, that's called the lust for money. If you're gonna do some diabolical stuff like that, whatever, just for some money, that is a lust for money, ma'am. That's a sin. That's a nasty sin that nobody needs to have. I'm gonna be honest with you. She traded on her whole dad. She left her dad's side just to go to another group that don't care about money. They don't, bro. They happy without it. She over here, she's like, you know what, Dad, you won't give me your money, I'm gonna leave you. She over there, bro. She skipped like AJ Lee all the way over. Yo, so y'all hiring? Oh no, we don't really care about that. We just fight just to fight, like, bro. We really fight just to get it on. To be honest, we really fight for the adrenaline for real. Mouth drop just like this.
So, realizing she couldn't get the bag with the Tau, she decided to double defect back into the Imperium. Which, is honestly kind of based, not gonna lie. Gotta stay on that grind, of course. But she was obviously already a heretic, so she started feeding the Tau false information and was importing the Tau and Imperials making their truce. In the end, she was allowed back into the Imperium, and she got super rich.
What? Yo, they let that trade... Yo, they really let that traitor back into the group? Nah, bro. Man, yo. What Luka Doncic said? He said everybody tough when they rub. Man, bro. What Ja Morant said, man? If you switched up, man, stay on that side. If you switched up, stay on that side. Yo, she switched up, and you gonna allow her to come back, and she got the bag? Oh, nah, bro. I just know they gave her a LeBron James just NBA check, bro. There's no way. Man, let's just keep it real, bro. It had to be a girl thing, bro, because if a dude traded, bro, come on, bro. Keep it real, bro. If a dude traded and went to the other team or whatever, that was like, yo, so they're not even paying over there, yo. How much money y'all got? And they're like, yo, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but we're not paying nothing either. And then he's like, all right, okay, boom. Then he skips right over back to the group that he came from before and was like, yo, if I give you guys some information or whatever, y'all gonna supply the bag? Why couldn't you just do that? Why couldn't you just be like, yo, you know what, yo, I could really get this bag. I could really, make some wins for us or whatever. But I need a bag. I got a plan up here. Like, all right, bro, we listening. How about I just go over there, whatever. I pose as like, as like a free agent or whatever. I get signed to their group, on some like, you know, Rocket Nation type ish or whatever, and then boom, I just feed you guys the information. I just text you guys, you know, what they're doing and stuff like that. And then when they're on to me, I could just destroy my phone like Mission Impossible. Like I could just do that. Bro, that's what I would do.
So, moral of the story, sometimes it pays off to be a selfish jerk who betrays their own race and then betrays their new people soon after.
Facts.
Wait, that's not a moral. Oh yeah, this is 40K. Morals are stupid.
True.
Speaking of morals, though, what was the lesson to be learned from the Damocles Crusade? And who actually won the war? Well, no one actually won the war since they agreed on a truce and they both took extremely heavy losses. However, most likely the Tau would have defeated the Imperials on Dal'yth, but they would have gotten annihilated by a much larger Imperial force sent in retaliation.
GG's.
Although the Crusade was relatively small by Imperial standards, it was like the worst thing that had ever happened to the Tau thus far and was an extremely deadly war for both sides. As for lessons to be learned, don't underestimate little blue people with plasma guns, and if your pal tells you that the enemy has church robots, you best prepare for church robots. Jonkles aside, though, the Damocles Crusade taught both the Tau and the Imperials not to underestimate the other, and that they would both be formidable opponents in the years to come. The Imperium got humbled and learned that the Tau's relatively small forces can more than compensate with robot suits, railguns, and the power of friendship. Then, the Tau learned that they were a small fish in a big ocean full of big fish with bolters and chainswords. They realized what was a near-apocalypse level threat to them was a mere fraction of the Imperium's true might. But this war also demonstrated how the Tau can stand up to the much more imposing factions. They leveraged their speedy tech trees and tactics to run with the big boys. And theoretically, most of the other factions could eradicate the Tau, but why would you destroy the little silly blue guys when you have like 1 trillion eldritch space bugs with sword arms?
Facts. Thank you. Can we all like think for once? Yo, I'm so glad he actually brought this up. Why aren't we like directing all of our energy and strength and testosterone towards the termites right here, bro? Why don't we all just partner up and just team up against these bums right here?
Knocking on your front door. Actually, it might be a bit hard to knock on doors with sword arms, but you get the point. And finally, the war demonstrated some of the Ethereals, and by extension Tau's, more grim doings early on. One notable thing was how the heroic Swords of Puretide were callously lobotomized after having the engrams removed. The events of this war also sow some doubt in Farsight's mind, especially when he realized that the Ethereals likely purposely goaded the Imperials into starting the war for propaganda purposes. And so that's the Damocles War. It's a pretty interesting event, and I think it showed both factions in a pretty cool light, effectively demonstrating their faction strengths. But anyways, I have a little announcement. Somebody wanted to send me a red gobbo, so I opened a temporary P.O. box for fan mail and such. I'm not sure anyone will send me.
Shout out to Crack Thug, man, for this video, man. Wow, that ending, bro, of that girl trading places, yo, that was actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't knock it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll do the same thing. Only for Vulcan though. You know, Vulcan wanted me to go over there and pretend to be somebody, whatever. I'll definitely do it. I don't care. But for Vulcan, I'll do anything for Vulcan. Other than that, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, man, make sure you guys follow my Twitter down below. And peace out.